Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So here is my Fear the Walking Dead review of episodes 9 and 10. I was originally going to do this separately, but I watched episode 10 and I was like, I can't do a 10-minute review on this episode. There's no way. So I'll do the first half episode 9 and then the second half I'll talk about episode 10. And then later on after this video, a few hours later, I'll post my trailer predictions or trailer breakdown for episode 11 of Fear the Walking Dead. And yeah, so before we go any further, obviously, please be aware that this video will contain spoilers for both episodes 9 and episode 10 of Fear the Walking Dead. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be watching episode 9 on cable tonight, so what I will do is, before I get into episode 10 or even get my thoughts on it or anything, get into spoilers at all, I'll let you guys know, and this way you guys can tune out at that point or whatever. And then, we'll talk about episode 10. So, let's get into episode 9 here. So, I guess where I should really start with episode 9 is, some of my expectations for the episode. And, I will say going into it, I was kind of expecting it to be a little bad, at least based off of the online reaction. So, I kind of went in with lower expectations, I would say. Now, I didn't really have high expectations, but I also did have the expectation of, you got to start to turn this around a little bit, because Fear Season 6 was such a great season. In my opinion, really changed a lot of Season 4 and 5. And Season 4, it's mostly the second half that's kind of bad. The first half is all right. There's parts that definitely are boring. It's boring, but the second half is just where it got bad. And then 5 was really bad for Fear. And, you go into Season 6 and it was just phenomenal. Honestly, probably the best Fear the Walking Dead season. I could see how season 1 might be a little bit better, but it's still it's on par with that. Season 6 was so great. And season 7 so far hasn't been as great. Overall, there's been a lot of weak episodes. And so I look at Fear Season 7 and I try to compare it, to previous seasons. Do I prefer season 7 over season 5 and 4? Definitely, I do. But it's not near where it was for season 6. And so does episode 9 live up to that? I will say, I actually did enjoy the episode. I know a lot of people aren't liking episodes 9 and 10. I think mostly 10 is where people are having issues with it. But I actually enjoyed episode 9. Is it a really great, amazing, phenomenal episode? I didn't really think so, but it's not a bad episode at all. I actually kind of enjoyed this story here for Alicia. And it was kind of nice to actually have an episode just with her. And this new character, I believe, goes by the name of Paul. He's such a great character. I'm just going to say it right away. As soon as he was introduced and we started to get scenes with him, I had a bad feeling. I was like, okay, well, first of all, he's probably going to die in this episode because it just seems like whenever there's a really great character and you start to feel a little, attached to the character, it's like, okay, he's probably going to die. It happened with Will, I believe, in episode 1 of season 7. Now it happened with Paul. I actually think the bounty hunter's brother, he's still alive, so I guess there's that. I had a feeling he was going to die because he was such a great character. I was like, oh shit, he's so dead in this episode. But he's still alive and out there, so I would really like to see that character again. But yeah, this new character, Paul, I think really stole the episode, but it was him and Alicia. It was both of them. It was, it wasn't just him. I really liked him as a character, but Alicia definitely, she really brought it here. And Paul, he's a man who lost his wife. He kind of lost his hearing too as well because of when the bombs dropped. I liked that detail right there because we're starting to see this, more just human impact of what happened, right? Instead of just more of the environmental impact and, we're going to have, a zombie apocalypse or zombie nuclear apocalypse kind of thing. It's nice to see some of the ramifications around the world or around the area, right? To see people actually really affected by this. So I really liked all of that. Honestly, to me, I thought that was actually really great and really smart to introduce that. And, this character to me, I think really, again, it sucks that they killed him off because he was such a great character. But I think this is just one of those episodes where I think if you watch it, you're going to be like, too bad they killed him off. He was such an awesome character, right? Now, this whole episode really was about Alicia, I guess, contemplating, do I follow my voice or not, right? I mean, the episode's titled Follow Me. So a lot of it is just she keeps hearing this voice and she's wondering, what the hell is it? And it's saying Padre, whatever. And so she keeps trying to go to Padre, but obviously, she's resenting it. She's getting people killed and doing that. And it's basically just this whole spiritual, therapeutic episode, I would say, for Alicia, which isn't necessarily bad, but I think that's where the episode definitely gets a little boring at some times, right? Like, I actually enjoyed a lot of those scenes. You know, I'm not somebody who, whenever there's a 10-minute scene of them just talking about whatever, I'm going to roll my eyes and just be like, oh my God, okay, this is so boring already. I want there to be action and fighting all the time. I don't mind those episodes or those moments where they just kind of sit and talk for a long time. But, you know, that's not going to make the episode great or amazing. You know, I can't give it like an 8 or 9 out of 10. I'll still enjoy it, you know, just kind of like laying on the couch or whatever, watching TV. You know, it's something that's interesting. It's drama. It's something that's on. I'll watch it, but it's not mind-blowingly good or anything like that. It's just something that, you know, it's watchable. And I think that's where this episode really, you know, for me, I like the performances. I really like the ending scene. I love that ending fight scene with blasting the music and like just that whole thing, playing Beethoven. I thought that was such a great, it was a unique fight scene in this universe. And it was such an awesome thing to see. The whole entire time I was entertained. So yeah, you know, overall, I would say this episode, I think didn't really add much to the story. And so that's kind of why I'm combining episodes 9 and 10, you know, in a single review. I definitely could talk about episode 9 a lot more because there is stuff in here that definitely teases a lot of Madison's return, right? Like we did actually get something at the end. And that was the thing I was worried about was I didn't want Alicia to just be like, no, you know, I'm not telling you where I'm going. And Morgan's like, well, no, you're sick. Stay here, just rest. And she's like, no, I'm good. And she leaves without giving Morgan an answer. I was so worried about that because, I mean, we've seen that so many times where things like that happen, right? But Alicia actually tells Morgan, like, I'm going out there, going back to the bunker. There's some sort of radio thing or whatever. I can reach a lot of people. And then so Morgan's just like, well, what? So you're going to reach a bunch of people that tell them, you know, that to go to Padre or this and that. And she's like, no, I'm basically Alicia saying she's going to be Padre. And that's how she's going to get a lot of people to join her cause in taking down the tower and stuff like that. And right away, I was like, that's how Madison makes an appearance right there. This is how Madison is actually going to come back to the show. Is Alicia's going to go there to make, you know, contact with a bunch of people. We're not going to see her. Obviously, we didn't see her in 10. We're probably not going to see her in 11, which means we might see her in 12. And then once she makes contact with, you know, I guess with a bunch of people, I think that's Madison and her group, the people that she's with, they're going to come to Morgan and to Alicia and all that. And then they're going to be like, what the hell is this? I think, you know, it's very possible that Madison even heard the voice, right? And so I think that could happen in like 13 or 14. And then we're going to see this big showdown with Madison and all of them versus Strand in the tower and all that. And I think that can happen in 15 and 16. So that's why I say overall, you know, episode 9 was all right. Episode 10, well, I'll get into my thoughts on episode 10. But episode 11, it looks like it's going to be better than 9 and 10 for sure. And I think it's going to build up from here because of how they're going to do this here. And I actually am very excited to see how Madison's going to return, you know, just to see their reactions to that. Alicia's reaction to the fact that, holy shit, my mom's alive. And then once you have that, if Madison's on their side, just like, what do they do with Strand in the tower? Does Strand actually die? Does Madison kill Strand? Is that possible? Like, there's going to be so much here that, you know, I'm really excited about. So, you know, Fear Season 7, I would say it started off a bit slower. And I think definitely, I do agree with them having 2 episodes airing on the same night for AMC Plus, just because 10 to me is a pretty weak episode. So let's actually get into episode 10 here. So this episode was a big Howard episode. It was also a very big Charlie episode. And I don't know what to really say about it because, like, I don't know, nothing really happened. Like, it was just a love story for Charlie, basically. And Howard is, again, it was a big episode for him because it was just basically showing how corrupt he is and how much he's really trying to serve Strand and what he's willing to do, right? And so it's kind of like, overall, that's how the episode started, and that's how it ended. And I guess the only difference is we have Charlie at the tower now. And so, you know, like, overall, I don't really know why this episode was needed other than to give Charlie a big episode. And I still think that if you're going to give Charlie an episode, I don't know, making it a love story episode, I think is just kind of dumb. Like, I get it. You want to focus on some of the things that Charlie never got to experience because it's like, you know, she's a kid that's growing up in the apocalypse, basically, right? Or she was a kid when it happened. I think she's a teenager or something now. You know, I get it. It makes sense. But I just don't think people care too much about that. And I don't know. I feel like this was something that you didn't need to do. Like, I feel like you really just did not need to do an episode like this. There is this new character named Ali. And I will say he's all right as a character. I mean, he was killed off again, so that's two characters. That's Paul and Ali, who were just killed off. So two characters that were all right, killed off immediately, which I don't really have an issue with, to be honest. They kind of made the episode a little bit more entertaining, like for both of them. But I don't know. I would prefer it if Paul was still alive. The overall plot of episode 10 was basically Howard wants to find out why Charlie is there, and it basically just ends with Howard being this big monster who's just willing to kill anybody. And then June kind of stands up for herself. Like, again, like there's not a lot I can really say about the episode because nothing really happened. It was more just like a reintroduction to the story of what's going on at the tower. So, I do think this is probably going to be one of the weaker episodes for sure. 9 was all right. Again, I think this is definitely a slower start for Fear Season 7, but we'll see where they go in 11 and all that. I think 16, 15, and 14, maybe 13, but definitely 16, 15, and 14, those 3 episodes are going to be really good episodes because you're kind of ending the whole Strand Tower arc and then the Padre thing, which I think is actually sort of what's making Fear Season 7 not that great, is I don't care about the Strand Tower arc. Like, honestly, unless it's going to end with Strand dying, I don't care about this. And if Strand actually dies because of this, it does make the arc actually matter. But if in the end he's just going to apologize and whatever, like, honestly, it's just going to make this whole thing seem so pointless. So I think if they do kill Strand off, that's actually going to be pretty crazy, because I think they need a big death like that. They need this season to matter. And he's crossed so many lines. I've talked about it before. Like, he's done a lot of things in early season 7. So I think it's time for that character to go, but also some other characters as well. And I want to see some heartache. And so I think those last 3 episodes are going to be good. 12 and 13 have the potential to be really good. If episode 12 is Alicia reaching out to people, and then 13 around there, we actually maybe see Madison, or we see that maybe at the end we see her or something like that. I can see those episodes being really good, kind of setting up a lot of the war and stuff happening in 14, 15, 16, or the battle at the tower. But as of now, we're just kind of at the point where they're slowly starting to set it up. But I will say I am happy that we got 2 episodes down already. And so now episode 11 looks like it's going to be better than 9 and 10. And then, yeah, we'll see where we go there. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Definitely post your thoughts on episodes 9 and 10 down below. Stay tuned for my episode 11 trailer breakdown, and I'll see you guys in the next one.